The first record of our people as ancients, there is a book sitting in the British Museum of Archaeology Finds, London, England. And I believe it's 4 leather parchments. It's written in the language of the Indian here, the written language, and it's also written in Hebrew. Now, it is 2,000 years older than what is referred to as the Septuagint, which is supposed to be the oldest Bible in the world. Well, this one is 2,000 years older. And the term it uses is quite interesting because it also comes from Hebrew. The term used to describe the Creator in the old book is understood to be interpreted to mean that Creator is feminine. I don't mean to offend anyone, but the truth of all of it is found in that old book. And the book that was removed is that exact authority right which I just explained. And the reference to the woman in the old book is daughters of the Great Spirit. And from that book and the first introduction and chapters of it, it says that the Great Spirit considered the women of the clans as his daughters. And they're referenced in the old book as angels or pure light. Now, that didn't come forward. It was removed in the 1500s from the old Bible that carried it, which was printed in 451 AD and distributed throughout the world. It contained daughters of the Great Spirit. And it instructed tribals when to sit in council and to keep the earth in balance with the rest of creation, which was our responsibility as guardians of the earth. It's in the old book of law, the oldest book of law. Now, I will explain again that the law that we go by when presented, or if you're allowed to present it, it supersedes the law of the primitive or the white race. Now let me explain what I mean by white race. White race is simply a choice of people way back in Europe, and I studied, and I can provide all references, which I believe we will do separately on this presentation. But the white race were a people who chose no longer to be of the tribe in Europe. That's the difference. One continued on to be of the tribe. The other decided to be of the race. The people of the race began to accept the new interpretation of the old book of law. And I can guarantee you today, and I will present the references, that all religions in this world are controlled. They're controlled. Even religions that are referred to as being Indian in this part of the world. So all law deriving from your religion or your philosophy or religious philosophy, that is a prerequisite to be accepted even in today's international law as a country. So the very idea of separating our law and it becoming a practice, it's undesirable, because ours is to be a living philosophy. It was given to be lived. I won't refer to the in-depth happenings between Europe and here since first contact. There's enough written about it. What I will say is that because our ancient people did not accept the new law of the primitive and the new book they brought later with their missionaries, 100 million Indians were killed because they still would not believe. So we have some experience in relation to the origin of religion when we say Creator, Great Spirit, although we're saying it in English. In our world, it's another matter, in the language or within the mind. So a lot of Indians think that it does not belong anywhere but in a sweat lodge or in a teepee, which is true. But wherever you go, you're to live. You're to live your belief. See, that again is the spiritual proposition in law. That's what makes it valid when you can live it. Now, to give you an example where there's always a clash between the law of the primitive and the law of the people of the Spirit, late Meredith, who I refer to as a tribal scholar, which he was, I'm going to introduce you to him now and give you an example of how the law works and why the law of the primitive clashes with ours.
Haynes Doctrine. That's an agreement that the white men had to sign down and say that they would no longer ever kill an Indian, cut him up, make steaks out of him, have the Jewish rabbi bless it, and sell it in the meat market. Now you know why the Haynes Doctrine came about? See, scalping came from Europe. And so they used to scale, like scalping Indians out here was big business. Even among the millionaires are prejudiced against one another because of two groups. The one that's called the old money are the families that made all their money off human steaks, scalps, and all that sort of thing. That's called old money. The new money, they do not associate with the old money. So even among them, they have their own prejudice. But anyways, scalping got so good, the white man thought he really had it, right? So he come out to where I was. And only we learned how to do it really good. I mean, we were good. We were so good that the civilized nations had to sit down with the Dakota Empire to say, we now have to determine that is a crime against humanity by scalping him. And we had to agree that we would no longer ever scalp the white man again. And that comes from the Haynes Doctrine. See? Never mind what these colleges say, oh, scalping comes from bullshit. We were just good at it. We took the one thing that the white man scared, and that is to go around clean shaven on the head. And I like to remind him of that. Okay, so cannibalism. So cannibalism was part of the white race. Now there's a difference between the white tribes and the white race. Like, it's the same identity when we say Washishina, we know that's a member of the white tribe. And then the Washichu is the white race. The cannibals are the white race. Yeah, it's the same with, you ever hear of St. Paul, Minnesota? That was the capital of our empire. It used to be called Otonto. And white people, tribal people that got driven from their countries over in Europe, They came there and they lived with us.